Hello everyone, this is Anson from AnsonAlex.com, and in this video I'm going to show you everything you need to know to optimize the battery life on your Android device. I'm using a Google Pixel 2 running Android 8.1 for this video, but it should work on any Android device. I'm not talking about rooting your phone, we're just going to look at the default settings. There are advanced things that you can do to increase the battery life, but we're talking about doing it with what we've got out of the box here. So let's jump right into our phone settings, and I also want to mention that some of these things can be modified and adjusted from the notification panel where you've got your controls up here at the top, but because that's quite different on the different phones, Samsung, LG, Google, all the different phones out there, I'm going to show you from within the settings. So we're just going to go through all these settings here. Obviously, when we talk about battery life, we want to have as many things disabled or dimmed down on our phone, especially those things that are going to drain the battery. So we're talking about Wi-Fi here. So when you're not using Wi-Fi, you can turn it off. Some phones have a feature where Wi-Fi will automatically turn on when you get to a certain location, like at your house. So make use of that if you can, because that definitely drains your battery a lot. And then the same goes with Bluetooth. So here on the Pixel 2 in connected devices, if we're not going to be using Bluetooth, go ahead and disable that as well. Also NFC right here. If your phone is set to exchange data right now when it touches another device, turn that off when you're not using it as well. Let's go back here. I'm going to skip the apps and notifications section. We are going to look at location services for different apps, but we can access that from another area within here. So we'll skip over apps and notifications, and we're going to tap on battery because obviously you want to be taking a look at this area on your phone. First of all, you've got your battery saver, which you can turn on when you're not going to be using your phone much, but you still want it on to be able to receive phone calls and everything. Go ahead and turn on your battery saver. That will save you a lot of battery. But the other thing that we can look at is we can scroll down and we can see which apps are sucking out the most of our battery, so that we can kind of manage how we use our phone. You can see lately for me, Instagram has been taking the most battery. So I might have to think about, if I'm going to use Instagram, maybe I should use that when it's plugged in. Or maybe you might see an app here that is just destroying your battery, and it's because it has location services turned on, and it's always using your GPS. So you could disable location services for that app. This is just kind of a good way to diagnose battery issues on your device to see if you can find a particular app that is causing that to happen. So it's definitely a good idea to come in here to the battery section and take a look. Let's go back. Okay, so in display, this is really, really important stuff here. We're going to tap on display. It's all about our display brightness in a couple of different ways. First of all, you definitely want to try and make use of the adaptive brightness because what that's going to do is that's going to change the brightness of your phone based on your environment. So when you're outside, it's going to really brighten up your phone because it's hard to see your phone when you've got sun shining on it. We need a lot of power so that we can put more light out of the phone. When we're in a darker environment and our pupils are dilated, we don't need nearly as much brightness, so we want that to automatically adjust, and we'll save some battery. Now, if you are maybe in a bright area and your phone is auto-adjusting but you're low on battery, you might want to turn the adaptive brightness off and just manually turn your brightness level down. Okay, that's a huge thing for saving your battery. And I also want to talk about wallpapers here as well. If we tap on wallpaper, when you're using your phone, the color that gives off the most light, that takes the most energy, is the white, lighter colors. So if you want to save your battery, you want to use a darker wallpaper. You can see that the wallpaper I'm currently using is pretty good. It's got a black base to it, a little bit of blue, yellow, and red, but that's not going to drain my battery too much. Those wallpapers that are moving, those live wallpapers, really, really big battery drains. So definitely try to avoid those. Go with a darker colored wallpaper. We're also going to tap on advanced down here in the display settings. The sleep. How quick your phone goes to sleep when you stop using it. I would recommend setting this, that's the auto rotate. I would recommend setting this to a minute max. I have it set to 5 minutes because I do tutorials on my phone. I take a lot, if you follow me on Instagram, you see I take a lot of pictures of my devices, and the screens always shut off too quick for me, but I'm aware of that, and I know that if I need to squeeze some extra battery out of my phone, I can turn this setting down. But this is a huge one. Sometimes people will, make a phone call, then they won't turn their screen off. They'll put their phone in their pocket and have this set to like 10 minutes. So now your screen is being displayed for 10 minutes in your pocket, draining your battery, heating the side of your leg up, and it's just something that's totally avoidable. So make sure you come in here and you turn your phone to go to sleep as soon as it's comfortable for you. I don't think we've got anything else in here really. Well, let's take a look. We'll go back here, and there are a couple things in sound that I want to talk about. Obviously, you know, the volume does matter. So if we're really nitpicking here, but if you're playing a video on your phone and you have your volume turned up, it's going to drain more battery than if it's turned down. But what I want to really look at in here is down in the advanced section. We'll tap on that. I want to look at these dial pad tones, the screen locking sounds, charging sounds. Vibrate on tap, you know, when you tap your screen, if it vibrates every time, that's using power. That's actually quite a bit of power. Your phone is vibrating. That takes a pretty strong motor to do that, and that motor is connected to your battery. So yeah, as you can see on my phone, I have all of these turned off, and if you want to save your battery, I'd recommend that you do that as well. Let's go back here. We're going to go down now to security and location. So we want to look at location services, right? Because location services use our GPS, and our GPS uses a lot of battery. So let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit here. You'll notice that we have our privacy section. So we have location currently turned on. If we really want to save a ton of battery, we could tap in there and we could just turn location off, okay? Or we could turn it to a lower accuracy, and that might save us a little bit of battery. But where we can save more battery without sacrificing the functionality of our phone is if we tap here on app level permissions. So we're talking about location permissions per app on our phone. We need to make sure that only the apps that really need to know our location are granted access to it in here, else they may drain our battery. So I'm talking about, you know, if on Instagram, if you're posting your location, then you need to give it access. Lyft, Uber, Maps, GPS, okay, they definitely need our location. But like, for instance, I'm a Verizon customer, and my Verizon was turned on for location. They don't need to know. I mean, if they need to know at some point for some reason, I'll let them know. But you know, in general, they don't need to know, and it's going to drain my battery. So go ahead and go in here and disable location access for all the apps that you don't think really need it. Let's go back and take a look, see if we've got anything else in here. You know, these are the basics. So like I said, there are tutorials online. You can download different apps where you can root your phone and you can overclock your processor, but it gets really technical. So these are the basics of saving the battery life on your phone. You obviously want to make sure that you're aware of how you're using your phone. If you're watching video, and like I said earlier, if you're watching it outside in a bright environment where your display has to be turned up all the way, it's just going to drain a lot faster. There's certain things you can do to make it last as long as it can, but there's no denying you're using more processing power, you're using more screen brightness, it's going to drain faster. So you have to be aware of what you're doing as well. But hopefully these tips will help you squeeze the most out of your phone. Make sure it's set to lock quickly, set a dark background, and take off the location services for apps that don't need it. That will help you a lot. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up here on YouTube. And if you want to see more technology tips and tutorials, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's all I have for you for today. This is Anson from AnsonAlex.com.